Hello, you lovely lot. It is Friday. The roofs are bouncing. The Eagles are flying. The undrafted free agents are signed. The vibes are good. Brian's in the chat. And we're going to break down some Cooper DeJean tape. I don't know what more you could want on a Friday evening than breaking down tape of who may be the biggest steal in the NFL draft. There was a lovely video out earlier today. And maybe we can find it on here to put on stream from Howie Roseman and the Eagles. Just going through the process of landing Cooper DeJean and the trade up and whether they were able to get him into his laps. They attempted a trade up with Carolina. That didn't pan out. They thought the Rams had him, and they literally thought that the Rams were going to end the dream. Yeah, there was a visible clip of Howie Roseman. That's it. Unlucky. That's that gone. And the Rams obviously went elsewhere. The Eagles get their guy. And they were jubilated. And I think we're just now in this stream to try and find out why. Like, we broke down Cooper DeJean during the pre-draft process. We're very high on him. I think that the tape spoke volumes about the type of player that they're getting. He was one of the few that we did. I mean, obviously, a lot of what we were doing was looking at second-round guys because there weren't that many in the first round that really tilted the scales for me. They got one of them in Quinion Mitchell. There are a few others. Byron Murphy was another, for instance. But there weren't that many. A few of the edge rushers. But if they were going corner, it was kind of Quinion, Terrian, or just leave it. And when you go further down, that was when the fun started. Whether it was linebackers, whether it was receivers, whether it was elsewhere. And Cooper DeJean was one of the few who jumped out as one of those higher grades. So to get him in round 2, when they did, was an absolute steal. And we're going to go into that tape and just kind of see more than anything what we can expect from him in this rookie year, because he came out of college as a safety. When you watch tape, he's playing in a slot, he's playing at boundary, he's playing at safety. He can do a little bit of everything. That speaks volumes to the kind of player that he is. But under Vic Fangio, like, what are we going to see in year 1? Is he going to be maybe behind Reed and Chauncey? Is he going to compete with Reed for a spot? Is he instead competing with Maddox for a spot in the nickel? Is he going to be this hybrid, like, star defender, if you will, that we've seen from the likes of Tyrann Mathieu in the past? That's what we're trying here to break down this evening. Before we do, just a really quick shout to everyone for the support on the Ineas Smith. See, Ineas, I realized I got the name wrong. Ineas Smith, not Anal Smith. I'm joking. Not Ineas Smith. But the reception on that video, I did not think it would do as well as it did. And after the stream went up, it ended up on like 900 views, which isn't a lot in the grand scheme of things. But for a live to then pick up traction afterwards is pretty good. And the feedback was amazing. And it was people that were like subscribed to this channel for ages that maybe weren't aware that we do live streams, now seeing them and being like, oh my God, Liam's back and more Eagles film room. And it warmed my heart a lot. So like, yeah, just thank you for the kind response on that. I hope you enjoyed it. If you could leave a like on this one before we get going, that would be absolutely amazing. I mean, Cooper DeJean's number as a rookie, not overly sold on it, but can we get more than 33 likes on this stream? Can we get more likes than Cooper DeJean's jersey number? That's what I want to find out this evening. So we can pump those numbers up early on. That will get us on our merry way. We'll get in some tape. I will share my screen. We will find some Cooper DeJean tape and we will get cooking. This is a PSN YouTube channel. Ignore that. I'm just saying hello to myself. But yeah, like I was obviously hard on him before. I kind of want to see now, like the same we did with Ineas Smith. It's easy to go through, yeah, this guy's good. Now it's, all right, well, now the Eagles have got him. What are we forecasting for his future? Like, what are we really going to see out of him here? So first game we're going to look at, I believe it's the one we looked at on stream when we evaluated him the first time, is Iowa v. Iowa State. So big rivalry there, I'm assuming. Let's see. So his first snap, lining up in the slot. Looks like you've got a single high safety, 2 DBs, obviously 3 linebackers. Space in there is pretty good. Now, that's kind of an interesting play because you've got a lot of traffic on this pool here, which it's obviously designed to be that kind of option player to hand it out into the flat. In which case, DeJean's going to maybe siphon that block, maybe let it go and try and take this one. It's a tricky play to read because you've got to really work out, is this receiver a threat? Are you just opening your hips and letting him go, hoping that this... Oh, get that away. I can't get rid of that. There we go. Are you letting him go? Oh, hang on. I've come off the tab here. There with me. Let's go back again. It's not even... Why is this not working? What? Oh, volume. Let's not get copyrighted, please. Right. Anyway, so you can see the safety over the top. So, for God's sake, why is this so difficult? There, right. We're back. So you can see the safety behind him. At this point, look at DeJean's eye. You can see where he's locked onto. He's happy to let the receiver go, sit down on that block, and look at just the hips opening there, purely to just sit in that gap. So if the quarterback was to throw it, I was going to point, like you can see him pointing at, throw it over here, he's got it covered. If he does go for the running back, he's in a spot where he can close in and make a tackle. He doesn't have to because his teammates do it. But overall, good first rep. This one looks interesting off the bat because he moves very quickly off the line, almost preempting the snap there, just in case something siphons outside. Again, nothing too dramatic. But at the line in press, you don't really get to see much of it there. But it's the first time we actually get to see him at the line. And just look, again, the way those hips open, the control in the body movement there is really impressive. I think this is what stood out the first time you broke him down. So the receiver's trying to give him a little bit of work. There's no wasted movement. It's just one fluid turn, one kick of the hips, and he's gone. And he's able then to go side by side, stride by stride with that receiver. So again, just look at his eyes are on him there. And just, I mean, the receiver's picking up speed here. DeJean's moving sideways, still sideways. Now it's a foot race. And look, they're still level. There is next to no gain there for the corner, for the receiver. So speed, very impressive. In run fits, he contains very well. He's just, on the outside to keep that, sort of box there. Right, we've got a first real... That's it. Run him all the way back to the end zone. There you go. Right, let's watch this one again. So 3rd and 7. Looking like a prime Eagles play, trying to throw something beneath the sticks almost there. I just want to try and see it again. It's annoying the logo covers most of it up, but he's very sticky. You can see him on the back of the receiver. It didn't help, so the receiver had to run like a little loop to get back, and the ball was kind of poorly thrown, so he's had to narrow, and otherwise DeJean would have probably been all over that. Like, you can't really see it at full speed, but if you pause it there, where the ball comes out, you can see DeJean there, and the receiver's kind of got to come in narrow to it. So, I mean, had that ball been on that sort of inside shoulder here, which is probably where it should be to turn and go upfield, it'd have probably got hold of it. But either way, still wraps himself around the receiver very well. Is this a replay of the same play? Oh, nice. Better angle. Yeah, just from a perspective of being sticky in coverage, just look at how low he's able to keep that. Like, he doesn't come up out of that stance. Like, a lot of corners, as soon as they open their hips, will like burst outwards, and that's what kind of causes them to lose a lot of separation and causes all sorts of problems and troubles. Because as soon as you like explode out and you open your body up, you kind of lose that momentum because it's all swung over here. Then you're banking on swinging it again the other way. I'm no physicist. I'm not an athlete. You just say what you see. But as soon as you explode out backwards, you've got to carry that through, and you leave yourself an open space then for the receiver to, whether it's a little nudge, whatever it is, or just cuts across. By keeping everything very tight and compact, you take that out and you can just sort of pivot because he's got this sort of natural agility to him that allows him to almost mirror then what the receivers are doing. Like, again, without compromising too much. Look how compact he is compared to I wish we can get a side-by-side, but goes through contact very well. It could have been a PI at the NFL level, really. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that was a PI at the next level. I mean, there was a little bit of a shove there in the chest. We'll get to some of your comments quickly. I know we've only done a couple plays, but I want to make sure I'm not forgetting about you guys. Jay Fizz says, do you think the influx of players who can play multiple spots can be as good as 2022? Or the defense can be as good as 2022? It's tricky. I mean, I think the issue with 2022 was that Jonathan Gannon was very much a Vic Fangio light in that he wanted to do things his own way, but none of it really made sense. And it was almost like just moving things around for the hell of it. Like, you don't just drop someone like Fletcher Cox back into coverage and expect miracles. Unfortunately, that's not how football works. The beauty now is that the pieces the Eagles have are built to be moved around. Like, someone like Milton Williams, for instance, for those eagle-eyed among you, if you pardon the pun, if you go to ESPN at the minute and you look at the Eagles depth chart, he's currently listed at defensive end. One of the big things with Milton Williams is that he's very lean. He's a little bit slimmer than most defensive tackles, a little bit lighter, but he's still got that thunder. And you think, all right, well, maybe he could be used as a piece off the edge. You look at linebacker, someone like Jalix Hunt is a perfect example. Can be effective at the line, probably going to be good in coverage, but you never really know when he's stood up off the ball. Cornerbacks and DBs, again, another good example. with someone like Cooper DeJean very much headlining that pack. So, yeah, I think there's going to be a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like coverage masking, I think, than we saw, but it would actually being obvious. Like, the issue with it in the past couple of years has been that it's been way too obvious what the idea was based on where the players are. Now, with these sort of guys involved, I just don't think it will be. So it just gives Fangio that little bit more flexibility to do things his way. And that's exciting. So, yeah, I think they've got all the pieces to be maybe not as good. The thing with 2022, we have to remember, and it's no disrespect to that 2022 team. Obviously, it did go to the Super Bowl. It was an easy schedule. Like, it was a very easy schedule. And Howie Roseman had the foresight to build that roster out to make the most of that schedule. It's why they were so aggressive with free agents. They went all in on as many guys in that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson-esque level range, just so they had a championship level roster. And it paid off massive dividends. 2023 was just a mess for a million different reasons. And defensive scheme was certainly one of them towards the latter end. But now this is a different team where the core is very different. I would say the core of this defense is much better to project long-term than what we saw in 2022. Whether that coverage will be reflected in that, we'll see. We'll see over time for sure. But it's definitely, positive at least. So we're looking at this play here. We're back to some DeJean tape. And again, it's annoying that logo's in the way. But holds his own in man at the line. Not a concern in press there, absolutely whatsoever. And do we get a little play if he comes back downhill? I think we did, didn't we? No, we didn't. I was looking at the wrong player. My bad. Again, just a little one there. It's just a spacing on this. Like, being able to drop back into coverage to read the shallow bit, keep his eyes on the quarterback. He knows he hasn't got to turn up field and really take that receiver seriously. Great PBU on that, by the way, on the other side. Love to see that. Little back pedal there. We haven't seen that out of him yet. But again, compactness. Look at how tight. It's all hips. It's all hips. He would be a tremendous golfer. I want to see if he golfs, because I reckon he'd be a hell of a golfer with hips like that. He is Shakira as a human being. Everything is just so in that core of his body. And he just pivots around it. Like, it's like his upper body just moves and his legs just adjust to it. It's really impressive. You can see another example there. It's only subtle, but just look. Ready? Back. Hips open. Stays the same, and then he can put the foot down and move. And it's just like, you only got a little glimpse of that little burst you can have out of it. But it just makes him such an important weapon. And that's the best example we've seen as to why this matters so much. Again, just look at from a compact perspective, how low he is to the ground, how shallow he is. And the leverage you can already see. So the quarterback's thrown. His eyes have located the ball. Look, he's 5 yards away here from the receiver? He's already closing. The ball is now in his hands. Bang. Like, that was genuinely really good. If you watch it at full speed, it's just really nice. That from a footwork perspective of knowing when to plant that back foot and just, you can see he's already launched there. Bang. Gains 5 yards by the time the receivers even caught the ball. Really impressive. And while he may not be used outside straight away, it's nice knowing that he can be. We actually see him here being lined up off the edge, coming down on that's where he could be valuable in a safety blitz. With a click and close like that, there's no reason he can't be used on those strong safety blitzes and those sort of packages. But even there, he reads that well. Could obviously be an option play or a play action or something like that. You've got a lot of movement there. And he tracks it again very well. And what he does really nicely here is just watch the eyes constantly. So his eyes are looking one way and his body's moving like that way with it. Again, everything just sort of pivots around him. It is like he's on a pivot. But he's not going, whoa, and flying across. His eyes are moving and his body's just following. And it's really just fully coordinated, almost relaxed, flow state level play that you don't really see in DBs. Is probably the best way I could describe it. It's not coasting is the wrong term, but it's just flow state. He's so locked in. Everything is just working the way he wants it to, body-wise. The play itself's different, but in terms of the way he actually moves his body, Great example there. You've got a really tricky situation to read here with two receivers coming at him. His eyes aren't paying attention. His body's horizontal. Beauty of this, he can flip his hips that way, get towards the boundary. He can burst this way and come in towards the guy down short. So now he's seen that first receiver drop. So he can look back up to the quarterback. Eyes will tell him the ball's coming his way. Hips start moving already. And look at, again, receivers coming into his break. DeJean's nearly out of his. The receiver is just getting into his break. DeJean is literally out of it. He's gone, oh, hang on a minute. That was a decoy. The ball's going this way. Doesn't matter because of the position that he's in. It doesn't matter. And again, that's just reading the game well. Like, if you compare, it's a bit of a bad one. But obviously, you've got another corner down here. Just watch the footwork in terms of steps and how big they get. Right? DeJean, it's subtle. Like, but everything is just like, it's like he's finally chopping an onion. And it just allows him so much more explosiveness out. A lot of people would have bet on that receiver. Or like maybe been stuck or not seen the ball. But even there, he's in a position there to make a play. It's really impressive. Really impressive. We'll get to some of your comments again. We'll try and do these every couple. Him with CJ, GJ, the versatility. The defense will have both can play safety and in the box. Yeah, but both guys can play all over the field, Brian. Both guys can play all over. It's going to be really impressive. Like I genuinely can't wait to see when you factor in Quinion, when you factor in obviously what we're seeing out of Cooper DeJean, the aggressiveness of Gardner-Johnson, when you get Sidney Brown back in the mix as well. Like, it's a really strong secondary for years to come. Like, there'll be a transition period. We've still got to phase out Darius Slay and James Bradbury. But over time, I think this is going to be really good. Do I start DeJean over Blankenship, says Steve? It's a good question. It's a really good question. I don't know. For me, probably not off the bat, just because Reed has been at the NFL level now for a couple of years. And while, you know, DeJean's got the higher upside, there's something to be said for having an NFL floor. And it takes a little bit of time to get rookies up to that playing speed. And if you want week one, you're going to drop him into the deep end and hope for the best, playing a full game. They don't need that. They don't need that pressure on him. If he outshines him in training camp and he's by far and away the better player, then absolutely. But if we're to look at it right now, there just is somewhat of a gap between being a first rounder and then breaking into the NFL straight away and being an impact player. I don't think we'll get anywhere close to CJ GJ in that first couple of years. But what I do think is Reed's probably on the fringe because he was an undrafted guy. He's got his little role in there and he's been reliable, like he's solid. But there is a lot more upside with DeJean. And I think DeJean's going to be able to claw that as time goes on. So we'll see. But I think for the time being, I'd probably start Blankenship just because of, you know, familiarity with the team. There'll be an element of leadership and cohesiveness there. But with a new defensive coordinator, if it's a Vic Fangio guy and Vic was pounding the table for him, then who's to say, you know? I see as a nickel or a star position player than safety. I think I agree with that off what we've seen so far, but we haven't really seen him play safety yet. So hopefully there's some tape with that in, and then we can really make a firm assessment. But I would totally agree with getting him in that sort of more versatile role. Do you think Howie's doing a better job at building a roster now with how the coaches use them in mind? That's a really good question. Really, really good question. I would say 100%. I think the best example we can give is you go back to the Jim Schwartz era, and it's annoying because some of the players they drafted had NFL upside and were really good. Some of the players they got were really good, like without even drafting them. You go back to guys like Eric Rowe, misused, ends up getting a nice career for himself in New England. I think he went to Miami. You look at then someone like Rasul Douglas, carved a career out for himself, always flashed, but in that scheme just didn't quite match up. And there would almost be this clash of, well, the Eagles want this sort of player, or Doug Peterson or whoever wants this sort of player, but Howie Roseman wants to build his sort of player and his sort of team. And not that it's a nick on Nick Sirianni, but I think Sirianni's a lot more malleable than Peterson was. Like towards the end of his tenure, especially after the Super Bowl, there was a little bit more friction. Like even in press conferences, like Doug's press conferences, we used to be so happy and joyful and a little bit playful, like they are in Jacksonville. And now all of a sudden, after the Super Bowl, it's hello, yeah, trending in the right direction, and it's just very cold and a bit sharper. It's probably just because it's the growth of a coach happens. you find your floor, you find your confidence and your sense of self in your playbook, and you believe in it, and you think it should be done your way a little bit. And that's where those pissing matches may have started. And I'm not trying to say it did or didn't, but when you look at the players that were drafted, that all had things in common, that were built of a similar profile. There was a phase of freak athletes. There was a phase of like ridiculously productive guys at college in like the Arthega-Whiteside era. And you look at it now, and Sirianni's thing is like, well, I'll get the best players on the field. Like, you give them to me, I'll get the best players on the field. So Roseman has then been able to build his team his way. Sirianni's trusted in him to do that. How he trusts Sirianni to get those players in a good position. I've got to stop saying Sirianni because my phone keeps going off thinking it's saying Siri. And when all's said and done, the shape of this roster is just team captains, it's leaders, it's people from Georgia, it's people from Bama, it's high-profile players and freak athletes, and you've just got this best of both worlds. So it's been really impressive to watch that growth. And I know Brian wrote an article earlier today actually about it, or yesterday, just about the Philadelphia way and how Roseman's like draft mentality's changed over the years. And it matters a lot. It really matters a lot. And I think you're seeing a much more complete team. It's a much more cohesive team, which is why I think also, without straying too far off topic, things like Darius Slay's actions in the middle of the season and the way he conducted himself rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. It's because like we left that behind us. We left the Alshon Jeffrey stuff. We left the bitterness and the snipes and the ego and the whatever. Like that's done. That's not this team anymore. And to have that still there, it got under the skin the wrong way, I think, for a lot of fans. And you compare it to how he reacted when Quinyon Mitchell came in about wanting to teach him and how he hopes one day he takes his job. That matters a ton. Like, that changes the perspective a lot. So overall, in short, yes. I think he solves the issue we have with slot receivers. He's on about DeJean here. I thought you meant Howie Roseman. Like how he's on the field suiting up. A lot of teams put their best receiver on the slot, knowing Slay likely won't be able to move into the slot, leading to a lot of guys getting burned, like CD Lamb. Very good point. And that goes into Ron's comment. Where do you think is his best natural position? I still don't know. I mean, we're seeing him hold his own at boundary. We'll get in some more tape now because I know we've gone off topic a little bit, but I want to make sure you guys are heard and, we can go through your opinions and stuff. But, I mean, I would probably say the nickel off the bat just because it allows him a little bit more support from the defense. Like on a boundary, you're very much on an island. And at safety, you are the last line of defense. And if something goes wrong, it's largely on you. So at nickel to begin with, I think would probably suit him best. But just look how he reads this. So you've got a little bit of again, another confusing play here that Iowa State are running. Two blockers pushing upfield. The idea is then that you either have to loop around the back or crash down underneath. And if you crash down underneath, too late because the receiver's over here. So you need something pretty good. And what we see then is DeJean take the optimal angle. I think he actually hesitated a little bit in that step. Like, we'll keep an eye on it. It looks like he just... No, okay, he wasn't able to. He just read it well. But look at his eyes when this comes off. Ready? Bang. So he sees that block anticipating. Constantly just plays that gap perfectly. Straight down. Ball goes absolutely nowhere. Like, to read that, like, it's that first little outside step that I think wins this for him. Like, as soon as he's there... it happens really quick. I'm trying to pinpoint the exact moment. But ball snaps. He sees the receiver going this way. So he then starts moving down in a man coverage scenario. But he retains the depth. He kind of foresees this bit. And instead of coming crashing down and ending up in a real pickle down here, where number 8 is probably going to have to work back underneath and the linebackers are in trouble, retains that depth, knowing he can close, and then kind of puts on the burners. So that again, just that awareness, the explosiveness out of his stance, like he's got a real, just a bang to his game. In short, yeah, another example of it there. Just that back pedal. Look at the head. The head stays still, and the body's going all over the place. Like, the head just does not move. It is fixed. Head. Look at the head. Look at the head. Look at the head. Now it moves, and he's followed the ball. And by the time the running back has just about got hold of it, look at where DeJean is. Already closing. The running back's just got the ball. And now he's got to deal with a surging Cooper DeJean who just keeps him behind that line of scrimmage on 2nd and 3. It's a hard thing to do. Anticipates it very well. So I like his instincts, and I think he would be absolutely fine at safety. I can see why he was listed at safety. Just even based off this, you can see how well those traits would carry over. It's not to say he wouldn't be impactful as a corner. He could just probably do more damage to an offense at safety. I mean, that was another one where he's just been thrown 2 different routes. You know you've got the safety there and you've got depth there, and he ends up kind of carrying that upfield, using his eyes. He could have pulled back if he wanted to, turns up, and ball's overthrown anyway, but again, read that really well. See, look at the hips are opening. His eyes are still very much fixed downfield. Oh, look, he's the only one looking that way. Really. Corners going up there, receivers looking up there. DeJean's able to stay largely in phase, tracking the ball the whole way without losing any real momentum or leverage or anything. Yeah, this Iowa defense is fun to watch. Very fun. It's a shame they're dressed like the Steelers, but hey, you know, beggars can't be choosers, right? You know, can't have it all in life. Nothing really saying on that one. Got beat a little bit there. But did he get pushed off or not? No, I think the receiver. Okay, right. Let's have a look. So off the line, little bit slow, but not overly. There was just no contact there. I think that's probably the one thing. Like the receiver's just been able to get right by him. DeJean puts his head down, and there's a little stutter. It looks like. Sorry, I feel like my phone's vibrating, but it's not. Sorry, that's really freaking me out. You know, it goes do. That. It's the only way I can describe it. Yeah, I don't know. That's really freaking me out. Sorry, it's like I could hear a faint like phone vibrating, like it was in the wall or something. Not this house as well. I've just got out the haunted office. We don't need to be doing this again. All right, we don't need to be doing this again. Yeah, nice play there. Really nice play there. Just from an instinct perspective. Yeah, really nice. We'll get to some of your comments. Hopefully not about the haunted office that we find ourselves in. He's so good against rub routes. Yeah, he's really impressive. Really impressive. Liam wants you to look at the head of a surging Cooper DeJean. I'm saying nothing. Little G's in as well. A lot of love for Little G. Look at that. It gives the draft an A grade. That's what we like to see, my friend. Love that energy from you. Brings it every single stream he comes in. Hope you have a lovely weekend, Griffith. If that's your first name, I'm not sure. Little G, either way. Hope you have a great weekend. Feel rude if I just called him his surname by accident. Feel like a school teacher, Griffith, but didn't mean to. Anyway, back onto some Cooper DeJean. I kind of want to see a game of him at a different spot soon. But I think the one thing we've learned here is what we just saw, you know, in the comments a moment ago, is just his ability to diagnose those rub routes and the switches, and whether it's even when he's crashing the blitz, he's able to dissect pulls and stuff like that. It's just mentally, like everything feels very slow for him, and it probably explains why his body control is so fluid, because he's not having to overthink everything and be like, whoa. Some players are instinctive. Some players are reactive. And I think that's a really common thing you see in drafts. Some players, he's really reactive. And that's not always a good thing, because instinctive means you're in front of it. To me, reactive means you're behind it. So if you're a reactive cornerback, you're reacting based on what you're seeing. If you're instinctive, you're kind of predicting it. It's the way I always interpret it. And I think that DeJean is just very much that first one. Like the intelligence is off the charts from a schematic and just an understanding and positioning perspective. It all just looks so slow and easy for him. And he's not a small boy either. I think he's like 6 foot. But he gets so low to the ground. That was a really good rep. That was a really good rep in press there. Yeah, very nice. See, a bit more contact. It's like he learned from that last one, I think. Get in there, then turn and go with him, and he won't have a chance. Nice. I like that. Yeah, I keep hearing this phone. This is really freaking me out, this phone vibrating thing. Maybe I'm just delusional. Maybe I need to sleep. Who's to say? Another great little clip there of his click and close. Maybe, I don't know what it is. I'm going to freak myself out. I need to stop doing this. Right. Focus on the Cooper DeJean, Liam. Come on now. I feel like we're in paranormal activity, but just looking at the leverage on the block, again, look how low to the ground he is with that back leg. Like the receiver, again, very tight, very over himself to try and get ready to shield that ball. But it just means, if you look at how far back DeJean is by the time that break happens, look, so all right, at this point, receiver's foot in the ground, balls come out. They're roughly 1, 2, 3, another 5 yards away? 5 yards, ready, right? And by the time the ball gets there, he's a yard away. And the ball goes literally nowhere. It's really rare to have that kind of burst. Like, for someone that can play safety as well. But not only just a burst, but the fact it's married up with a real understanding of the game. Like, sometimes you look at someone who did have a really good click and close, genuinely, was Jalen Mills. The issue was there was no instincts, and he was playing blackjack every time he played corner, and he would just bite on literally everything ever. DeJean is very much the opposite of that. He's like, you know, that like Darren Brown episode where he plays blackjack and he starts card counting in his head and gets kicked out of the casino. That feels like what DeJean is. Like, he's not going to lose at the casino. He's going to walk out, break even or better. Was that he would have had a pick then? Excuse me. It feels like he would have had a pick if his teammate didn't just run into him. So again, from a positioning perspective, he's already tailed off. He's meant to be over here. He's already tailed off back underneath. Perfect spot for the ball and gets ran into by his own teammate and someone else. They won't mind. I mean, they're winning 20-3, but that could have easily been another pick. Or the first one of this game, but it could have been a pick nonetheless. I love it. I love him in coverage, man. It's so saucy. Just watch the hips again. That final push. You can see the back foot's gone. Watch the close. He's ready to go. Bang. There's the launch. Downhill. And he's there for when the ball hits his hands. I don't think he's ever arrived after the ball has hit a player's hands. And that's instinct. Of being able to time that close, to time that burst, to move downhill. So by the time the receiver's got the ball, you're there to make the tackle. You don't see many players do that like once or twice a game, let alone as consistency as Cooper DeJean is doing here. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of half open to playing him at corner, to be honest. Having him in just moving him around a little bit, you still might want another corner at some point, be it first round or otherwise. Maybe it's Keely Ringo, maybe it's Eli Ricks, maybe you go and get someone else after Slay goes. But I mean, I wouldn't be mad at another versatile DB that can move around. Get someone built in a similar vein to DeJean and just move him everywhere. Just get constant misdirection because he's an absolute menace. Liam loves watching Cooper's hips. He's so saucy. Oh, absolutely. He is like Shakira. His hips just do not lie. Do not lie. And I think if I'd have looked at everything this closely, which I probably should have done, but then I wouldn't have been able to get through as many prospects as we did, it might have even got higher than what I gave him because this is a scary prospect. A very scary prospect. That was, even there. Just watch, back pedal, back pedal, back pedal. He's got to turn and go. And there's no wasted motion whatsoever. Ready, receivers go in. Receiver puts the move on. One stride. Move counted. Yeah, see you later. Receiver's doing all this stuff with the hand fakes and the pump and then the shuffle inside. There's the move. One stride. And it doesn't matter. Because he's just that good. Like, again, it's like his body is just in constant flow state. There is no battling. There's no ankle breaking. There's no getting stuck and not really sure. It is just like unrelenting. His head just does everything. Really good there as well to end the game. Bear in mind now, we've got 1 minute 47 to go. Iowa State back into the game. They're down 7. They need a touchdown. No timeouts. This is very much ball game here. And just look at DeJean then brush off the contact. Kind of, again, just feeling his way round the hips. We love a little bit of hip talk here today. But just watch, you can't really see him that well. But just look at his hands. Just staying on him so he feels the right direction of the player. Really good. Just able to look at you. I'm so happy we get another view of this because it was really impressive. Just enough to stay in there, get his hand in. Really solid. Now it's 2nd and 10. Game on the line. DeJean doesn't get his number called. Makes a stop anyway, though. 3rd and 1. Game on the line. Why are you passing it? You're a fucking idiot. Sorry. What was that? 3rd and 1. Game on the line. You still got 1 minute and 25 seconds, by the way. So I don't know why they're passing this. 3rd and 1. And that's your answer. Is to throw at Cooper DeJean, who you've not beaten all day, on 3rd and 1, and then get batted down anyway. That is ridiculous. Now it's 4th and 1, and now what on earth? Sorry. That's the end of the game. I've not seen anything like that in a long time. That was absolutely abysmal. Whoever Iowa's head coaches needs firing. Matt W. Is that Super Matt Watson? That's the question I want to know. Is that PSN's finest? Or is it a different Matt W? If it is a different Matt W, hello. Welcome to the show. I hope you're well. If it is Matt from PSN, hello, welcome to the show. But hello, Matt from PSN. It could be either. We could be left in mystery. Who's to say? Let's get to... We did these before. I think this is where, if I'm not mistaken, it was the Marvin Harrison game. Coverage snaps. I think there's a little bit more here than just at boundary. But he is still playing boundary here for the time being. Just watch that one again. It was quite nice with the hips. Just the way he angles himself is so impressive. Just compare it for a second. I want the first time you watch this clip. Okay, not this one, the next one. This one here. First time you watch this, watch bottom right of your screen, you will circle Cooper DeJean. And the second time, watch Matey Boy at the top. I'm not sure if you can see my cursor when I share my screen. Different one. Too many Matt W's in the world. But you know what, Matt? You're the biggest W. Thank you for hanging out in the stream, man. Nice to see you. Appreciate you stopping in. Yeah, so it's the first time. Just watch Cooper's movement, right? Very controlled. Second time, top left of your screen, the corner up there. Jump in Jack. He ain't got a clue. I ain't got a Scooby. It's all a bit of this. He hasn't, and that's the difference it makes. That's what makes Cooper DeJean special. That back pedal there was absolutely sensational. Little pumps. Bang, 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 bang. Gone. Don't worry about it. Oh, I like the speed. He almost got beat there. I think the safety might have been caught lacking potentially. Maybe it was a coverage mishap. What have we got? So it's like technically a 4-2-4, isn't it? But everyone's just in coverage. That I feel like that either the safety. I'm trying to think who it should be. I think it's going to be this. Maybe it's going to be that guy because these are all manned up. So he should be a bit deeper. Either way, I think he's been suckered in by... Look, I don't know. Whatever happens, something bleeds over the middle. DeJean here gets a little bit caught out because the route starts to break outwards. So there. So he thinks he has to break back downhill. Then the receiver closes out. Now he's going to come back out of his stance and go again. But the speed to recover from that... And again, he really does this well. We saw it in the last game. He's just retaining that depth. Watch how, again, could have tried to get a bit closer here. Could have tried to move laterally to close him off, but you'd end up behind his ankles. So he just retains depth and starts running diagonally, keeping his eyes on him. And just look at him closing near the catch point. makes a stop. Now, it could have been a messier play. It could have been a lot cleaner. But it's damage limitation at that point. I think he's done a really good job of that. So there we go. Man again. Stays with him. Tough opponent. It's just the quickness he can get up to full stride is terrifying. Might not always win, but just the sheer speed of the man alone is sensational. Yeah, see, he likes a bit of that. Get him gone. Get him on the ground. All right, so he's kind of like shadowing that outside there. I stay fixed on the quarterback. There's the break. And look, just by watching the quarterback, it's like he knows. Now, what he didn't anticipate, I think, was the ball being thrown a little bit wider to account for DeJean being deep. They're forced Harrison there to work back for it. DeJean's going to come down. That's what kind of makes a completion. That was a really good play by the quarterback. That wasn't even the play we were watching. But I thought we had a replay then, but it was just all 22. My bad. DeJean. I do like DeJean. I like the nickname DeJean. Makes me feel better when I mispronounce it. Cooper DeJean. Here we go. What have we got here? Look at that. Get in there. I wonder if there's going to be like Coop chance like there is with Cooper Cup. Do we get that? Who's to say? Very low to the ball. Very low to the ball. Oh, and he gets given the work. He gets given the work. And the ball's out of bounds. But that's the most I've seen a receiver give him. Unbelievable. Is that Harrison? I don't know who that is, to be honest with you. I don't want to lie. But I mean, that is a filthy cut. That's like what you see on those Instagram training videos when they go round the cones like, that was gorgeous. And DeJean, it's the first time I've seen him beat like that. And the ball was out of bounds anyway. He still would have probably caught him, to be honest, but doesn't get given the business a second time. Let's see what we've got on this one. Just almost a triple coverage play there, so nothing too exciting. Can you get off that block? Yes. Okay. It's a bigger receiver as well. Size mismatch wise. Look at the hustle. Keep those legs driving. Into the... He just knows. He just knows. He's like Neo. He just is the one. Even when he's getting beat, he's not beat. The only criticism I've got, which is why I'd rather have him at safety, is at the line, he relies so much on his athleticism. He isn't a breakfast corner, but he's just got all the ability to do it. So you can see here, he just always leaves like so much of a window for the receiver to work. And it just haunts him a little bit sometimes. Like that first couple steps, like if you can even, it's not the best comparison. If you watch a corner at the top of the screen on this, straight away, hands on. And DeJean is much more happy to get compact and open his legs and just look at what he then has to do. And that would cost him at corner. And I think for that reason, I think he probably would be better at safety because you don't have to worry about it. And you can backpedal and do all your hippie flippy bullshit, not in a mean way, but you just can, as much as you want without any repercussion. And I think he's better suited to that because he's an incredibly dynamic athlete. He reads the game very well. And as someone that can then click and close on tight ends and click and close on running backs, I think he's going to be absolutely brilliant. There are some times at corner, he looks magical. But at press, I think sometimes he just gets a little bit too patient. And I'm not sure if that's come up in a scouting report or not. It'll be interesting if anyone's noted the same or has seen the same said anywhere, like in the meantime. But then he does stuff like that. Gets himself back into a play. Oh, never mind, he gave up the catch. All right. Now, all right, let's watch that route. Did he get beaten there? Well, you can't really make contact from there, but he's tried to retain depth, do the right thing. Yeah, just beaten. Went for the ball. Dinner corner goes for the ball instead of the tackle. I blame him for doing it. Sucks it missed, though. That's frustrating, that one. Not been his best game. That was nice. What a little 360 spin I saw there. What are we doing here on that little chair? Whoop, whoop. Okay. Roll over the top. Not bad. Not bad. Let's do it again. Just playing a game of tagging. Oh, playing a game of tag in the red zone. I really like that rep. He's literally just following him around. Look at only thing with that is look at where his hips are. I would say. This isn't again trying to nitpick. Realistically, with a receiver running vertically and your hips there, right? He's probably going over here. Right? You'd be better off flipping the other way and forcing him underneath where you've also got a little bit of help from these guys, the safeties, rather than having to then roll round the top, which, again, it's a corner thing. But it's not the end of the world, and he's retained in like the interior bit. The corner's giving him the work again, and he still stayed with him. Ball gets thrown, then he jumps up and bats it down. It's a great play. It's a brilliant, brilliant play. But it's also one of them where he's like, woof, maybe got away with one there. So I think a cornerback, it's just gonna, like, not expose him, because that's definitely the wrong word. But his weaknesses will not be pushed into action as much, if that makes sense. If you guys get where I'm coming from. I'll see what a couple of your comments are saying. He's very athletic. He looks like every other corner on the field. Yeah, I will 100% agree with that. I think he's a ridiculous athlete. I really want to see him at safety. This is 2022. It's just all in the nickel. This looks like a rap video. I don't really know what's going on here, to be honest with you. What's going on? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Right, here we go. Right. It was just, what was that even a promo for? The draft? Great. Right. Anyway. Whoa, a little bit of camera work here. I can get behind this. Saves me a job. It's impressed again. Oh, he broke it up. Well, I say broke it up. I think the receiver dropped it. Northwestern, Clayton Thorson's finest, isn't it? Can't be mad at that. I have no qualms rooting for Northwestern in this game. King Clayton cometh. Get his hand in there. He's in phase. Oh, it's a great catch. I think he might have just that little push towards the end might have just pushed him into the ball a little bit, if anything. Yeah, he's not really looking for the ball there. I think for these reasons, safety would be better. Like, I think that's my takeaway. It'd be a solid corner. Like, he's probably, if he was to come out the draft as a cornerback, probably looking round 3, round 4. Look, I would take him at cornerback over Kool-Aid McKinstry. Don't make that mistake. I'm absolutely fine with that. I'm guessing we're now seeing him on special teams. We are, wow. All right, okay, Coop. Okay, I didn't have that in his locker. Kick him. No, don't kick him. Don't be mean. Yeah, go on, get in his face. Okay. Yeah, I like that. He's got that dog in him, isn't he? Size of the comparison, like the size difference. Let's it bounce. Look. Oh, I like that. Look at that. Yeah, see you later. Oh, it's just good, isn't it? It's just good. I really like that. And then what do we get here? Do we get? Oh, I wish we got a slow-mo of the little bust up, to be honest. Is he playing off it? Hang on. That ain't who I think it is. It is. He's taking a hand off. What are we watching here? What is going on? What is this? Is there anything he can't do? Is he going to play quarterback in a minute? I wanted to see him at safety. They've gone, now we'll put him a wide out returner, safety, quarterback, linebacker. Go anywhere, mate. Play offensive line in a minute. It's like they've just gone, you know what, Coop? Have a day. Have a day, mate. You go out there and you do what you want. Here you go. Have the ball it. And make a block. Outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. And I'll tell you what, he's got better awareness with the football in his hands than Aeneas Smith. Not a dig, Aeneas. I love you. And he wears the same number as John Hightower. That has to be acknowledged on this stream. Another Liam Draft Crush drafted from the depths of hell takes on number 82. It's not by chance. Right, let's watch. These are ultimate highlights, so I don't want to put too much stock in them because, as we know, they're just sort of cherry picked. But I just want one. Like, has he actually played safety, or is it just people have gone, oh, he's at returner again here? Have people just gone, look, he's good at corner, but his weaknesses will be exploited less? Wow. There is literally nothing he can't do, is there? Like, he's like Jordan White. He's going to be singing. He's going to be on that new Philly Christmas album with some pipes on him. I guarantee it. I will guarantee it right now. He's got the voice of an angel. Oh, love that. That is just... Oh, that is good. That is good. I like that. I really like that. Let's just slow it down. Look, closing over the top. Receivers trying to run the other way, a little in and out number. And look at the eyes. 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 See you later. Oh, that's so good. Oh, he's a beautiful man, isn't he? He is a beautiful man, is Cooper DeJean. I can find no fault in him. I want him to birth my child. I'll go that far. No boxing matches here. Just straight up. Look at this. Oh, it's too easy for him. Iowa's offense is terrible. They'll try anything for offense. Their punts had more yards than their offense. Jesus. I wouldn't even be shocked, to be honest. Kellen Moore's about to cook. He's going to be used everywhere. He's literally the athlete that, you know, in NCAA 14, when you just get athletes and stick them anywhere? This is Cooper DeJean. He will do anything for anyone, any position. He's going to go play for the Flyers in October. He's suited up for the Sixers in time for the playoffs next March. And I've heard he might even be, throwing the opening pitch in a couple of weeks' time. It's remarkable. But there has been no snaps of him at safety, is my only... There's literally none of them. It's all just corner. Which, am I going backwards? What is going on here? I've watched a whole video. I swear, I've been pressing the wrong button. I don't know. Yeah, they're all at corner. So can we see, like, how many snaps he's had? Like, I'm just going to get a scouting report up a minute, because I genuinely feel like... I don't know. Yeah, around 6 foot. Got that bit right. Right, let's just look for weakness. Sometimes loses balance when sinking to match whip and out routes. A muscle-bound frame? Well, it doesn't, because he's on the floor most of it. He's like breakdancing. Doesn't have elite fluidity and hip freedom, experiencing 180-degree delays. Well, we saw that a minute ago, in fairness. Times he has better inter-channel recovery speed out of transitions. Yeah, that's the depth I think I was on about. Occasional wasted motion in press. I think we got on that. Sometimes holds his feet at the stems. Overcommits. Okay. So, is there a way to see, like, snap-wise? Can we see safety snaps? Has anyone actually got a number from like PFF of how many? I'm sorry I'm giving all these other sites traffic. That's not how we do it here. I should be plugging my own articles. I don't care about the athleticism. We know he's a freak athlete. Apparently 6'1" now. He's gained an inch. Doesn't help me, really. I don't know. I just... It would have been nice to see some Bingley and... Yeah, I know. Sorry about that. It would have been nice to see some snaps at safety. I will do some digging over the weekend between now and next stream to try and find some Cooper DeJean safety reps somewhere. But my takeaway is, could be a great cornerback, could be a very good cornerback, but his weaknesses will be exploited far less at safety because he's not got to worry about press. He's not got to worry about those like man coverage routes where he has to stay in phase and play a style of football that doesn't look overly familiar to him. That click and close at safety, those instincts at safety, that ability to click and close at safety, is just going to be sensational. So I think safety or nickel. Hang on, he plays basketball as well? Wouldn't surprise me. Cheerio, Eric. You have the voice of an angel. Look at him, little flirty. It's over Valentine's Day, Eric. Eric, it's not even until February next year. Look at that. Look, get me all blushy. Look, what a man. How do they say pause across the bond or no diddy? I would say wait or huh? What? Probably. Not sure. Ken is in and says, when are you watching Big Johnny Wilson, the Peter Crouch regen? Probably, well, who have we done? So we've done Dylan McMahon. I can't remember if we've done Trevor Keegan. With Dylan McMahon, we've just done this. We've done Ineas Smith. We could do it Monday. We can do it Monday. I'm just kind of picking them at random at this point. Maybe we'll do it Monday then. Maybe that can be Monday stream. I was going to do it tonight, and I figured that because the Ineas Smith one did well, that maybe I can go in on Cooper DeJean again and, you know, see if we've got any juice left in that tank. I nominate the phrase "no wanker" for pause. If I start saying that, Eric, I might get twatted. I can't lie. If I'm at a pub having a beer and I go "no wanker," someone's going to hit me. But I'll do it as a social experiment for you over the weekend, and I'll report back. And if I come back with a black eye, it's on you. But I'll see what I can do. 23 snaps at box and 90. Okay, so he just hasn't played that much, which is really interesting as to why he gets consistently. Oh, he's a safety. Like, if all the tape is at corner with a few at slot, like I've not seen a single safety rep from him. Again, what I think it is just that he's better suited to it. The way, like, I think if he was to be a corner, you need to be a little bit more fluid, a little bit more aggressive, and it'd be fine. But here at safety, you could just really bank on his actual strengths and it pay off more. So overall, phenomenal athlete. By far and away, looks like the best athlete on the field whenever he's on it. Click and close is absolutely essential. It deserves its own OnlyFans page. Instincts, the way... even I'm getting flustered now. The way he moves his head, like his body just reacts in comparison to his head. And that for me is the best thing I've ever seen from a prospect like that. It's just that the head is on a swivel. The body just moves in relation to the eyes. If the eyes are over here, the body's not moving, then he can turn and go. He's not swinging around constantly and wasting motion. Everything's controlled. He's in a flow state. I think it's going to be an unbelievable safety. I think safety is definitely the play for him because of those reasons. Like, I don't want him, I don't know, just being picked at as a corner where he's reliant too much on that athleticism and that burst to get him back into plays where, look, who's to say? He could be a Swiss Army knife. He can do it all. If he was a cornerback grade alone, he'd probably be like round 2, round 3. As a safety, round 1, like the kid's generational. So I'm a big fan. Don't say it without punctuation, and should be fine. No deal, comma, wanker. Oh, love to see it. But that brings us to the end of the stream, guys. I know, it's emotional, but I appreciate you hanging out. Again, a lot of love to everyone that went on that Ineas Smith stream afterwards. I wasn't expecting that many comments on it. For some reason, it picked up. The algorithm liked it. So I don't know how much of the video those people watched, but it was really cool. And I'm having fun doing them. So we'll keep going through the Eagles draft class. And even better for you guys, undrafted free agents have just been signed, boys. That's another 7. That's another 7 to get through. So we've got plenty coming up. If you haven't left a like on this video, if you could on your way out, that'd be amazing. Think of it, you know, just like when you're at a bar and you take your glass back to the bar instead of being on you. It's just a little like, cheers, you know, just a little one of them. If you could do that, that'd be tremendous. If not, I will take it personally. And I'll look forward to seeing you on Monday. So I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Go Birds. I'll see you soon. And we'll break down some more prospects next week. Thank you all for hanging out. I love you to bits. Enjoy your weekend. See you later. Very quickly, yes, we will. Should you run the intro back again? Yes, we will smash the Green Bay in Brazil. It's going to be green everywhere. Brazil, Packers, Eagles. But the only colour that matters, it's not really a colour, but they're going to win. It'll be an easy game. I'm excited for the season opener in Brazil. It's going to be great. I'm genuinely excited for it. Do the intro again. See you later.